Hi, I want to become a member of your library.
Are you a student of our college?
Yes, graduation first year.
You can take this form, fill it up, and after that, get it duly signed by your class teacher.
Am I required to pay any membership fee?
Yes, you have to deposit $50 in cash. You will be issued one card, and you can get only one book at a time. You can retain a book for a fortnight, after which either you should get it renewed or return it, otherwise you'll have to pay a fine of $10 per day.
What are the library timings, sir?
The library remains open every day from 10 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m.
What about Sundays and holidays?
On Sundays and holidays, it will remain open from 10 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m.
What is the prerequisite for getting library membership? What will happen if a scholar fails to renew the issued book after 14 days?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am perfectly fine. And how are you?
I am good. Here is my completed and duly signed form and the membership fees.
Please be seated while I check your credentials. It may take a few minutes before I issue your card. If you have a class scheduled, you may come later to collect your card.
No worries. I can wait as I don't have any class today. Have you got books on every subject?
Yes, please. We have books nearly on all the subjects.
Do you also get newspapers and magazines?
Yes, we subscribe to all the important newspapers and magazines. Of course, you can read these in the reading room, but you cannot take them to your home. It will invite disciplinary action.
Can I bring my own books in the library?
No, please. You are not allowed to bring your own books into the library.
Where is the language section?
Go straight and take a left turn. It's near the round reading desk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I found it.
Why does the librarian ask the student to be seated?
What kinds of reading materials are available in the library?
What will happen if a student carries the newspaper to his home?
Is there any particular book that you are searching for?
An English language book from which I can get new vocabulary words and basically pronunciation practice for long words.
You can go through Charles Dickens and John Milton books. There you can get vocabulary and pronunciation practice.
Can I get them issued for a month?
Do you want to get both the books issued at the same time?
Yes, sir.
For that, you need to get a special membership card, which will permit you to get 2 books simultaneously for a longer period.
Do I have to pay something for that?
Yes, $25 as a security. This will be refunded back if you return the books in original condition and within the stipulated time.
Okay, thanks.
What is the student searching for? What will the student get if he returns the books within the time frame?
What is mandatory for issuing 2 books at the same time?
I will have to give a presentation on global warming on Friday, and I am so nervous.
There are a lot of things you can do to make you feel more confident and less nervous.
What should I do, Mary?
First of all, you need to understand the subject matter thoroughly. You need to know what is global warming, its causes, and what people should do to abate its effects.
I have done a lot of research on the subject, and I know I can answer any questions I will receive from the audience.
The next thing that you need is an outline of your presentation, how to effectively present the subject matter.
The sequence of my presentation?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, what else?
By the way, do you have any facts or pictures to back you up?
Not yet, but I will get them from the internet.
Good.
Is there anything else I can do to help me relax and be at ease during my presentation?
You need to practice your presentation. Think positive. Tell yourself that you can do it without any problems.
I guess I can look at this as a presentation of my point of view to my friends, plus all the relatives that I have on both my mother and father's sides.
If you are really prepared, it will be a cakewalk.
You are absolutely right. Wish me luck, Mary.
This is only the beginning, James.
What is James nervous about? How can James hold the audience's interest in his speech? What advice does Mary give to James to calm himself during presentation? What is James confident about? Why does Mary ask James to think positive?
Good morning, John. I am Nikki, the finance department manager. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
How was the traffic coming over here?
I am so glad that the traffic was light this morning. No traffic jam and no accidents.
That is good. John, let's start the interview.
Okay.
As you know, it is an entry-level position in my department. The new employee will have to work closely with the accounting department. He will also have to deal with the bank on a daily basis.
What type of qualifications do you require?
I require a 4-year college degree in finance. Some working experience would be helpful.
Being experienced is mandatory?
Since this is an entry-level position, I do not require a lot of experience. I'm willing to train the new person.
That is great.
Okay, now tell me something about yourself.
I just graduated with a bachelor degree in finance. I have been working part-time as a payroll clerk for the last 2 years.
What are your expectations from this job?
It should help me see what finance is all about. I have learned a lot of finance theories at school, and now it is time for me to put them into practice.
What are your strengths? Why should I hire you?
I am a hardworking person and a fast learner. I'm very eager to learn, and I get along fine with people.
Good. Do you mind working long hours? What about work pressure?
I can handle difficult situations without getting affected by the perils of long working hours.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I think I have a pretty good understanding of the job. I believe that I can handle it with ease, and I hope to have the opportunity to work with you.
John, nice meeting you. Thank you for coming.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you for seeing me.
What is John's primary query?
What is great about the job description given by Nikki? Nikki Main hire John because he is
The job at finance department may entail What kind of a job is John keen on taking?
Why did Nikki ask John about the traffic?
In November 2017, 2 eye surgeons from a hospital in Beirut reported an intriguing case of visual loss in a colleague. A specialist in the retina, the colleague had suddenly developed a patch of blurry vision in one eye just a day or two after an intensely stressful day in the operating room. This was not the first time it had happened. The surgeon had experienced 4 such episodes in just a year, each preceded by a stressful day of operating. The retinal surgeon was diagnosed with central serous chorioretinopathy, CSCR. A small amount of fluid had collected beneath a tiny region of the surgeon's retina, causing it to temporarily detach. The condition resolved after a few weeks, and a strict stress management plan prevented another episode from happening again. First described in 1866, CSCR has been tentatively linked to stress ever since World War II, when several cases were reported in military personnel. Although subsequent research has associated CSCR with stress-related mechanistic pathways, it is often labeled idiopathic, arising from an unknown cause, if no trigger other than stress is found. Departing from convention, the surgeons labeled the condition operating room CSCR, identifying stress as its cause. Reflecting on what had made their colleague vulnerable to stress, the surgeons noted new surgical techniques made possible with better technology had stretched the physical limits of what a surgeon is able to do. While this progress has expanded the scope of surgery, operating at these limits placed immense mental strain on the surgeon.
Up 20 minutes. I've been online for 15 minutes. Says it all, really.
Is it a good way to keep in touch with the world or ruining the art of conversation? Let's talk to Kate Bevan, a journalist who specialises in technology and social media, and William Hanson, an etiquette consultant. And presumably, William, good morning to you both.
Morning. Good morning.
You think it is simply rude to be online so often?
Yes, especially because people do it in the company of other people.
Yes.
Because it is so accessible, I can see it's perhaps an easy trap to fall into, but it doesn't really excuse the fact that we are taking out our devices, our tablets, our phones, whatever they happen to be, and logging on and tweeting and using Facebook when we're having a face-to-face conversation. That is plain manners.
What
plain
you're doing,
bad
though, is
manners.
bringing in other people into the conversation. That's kind of the point of it.
Yes, I appreciate that you might be tweeting with thousands of people on Twitter and communicating with them, but actually they are not as important as the person you're talking to face-to-face. No one is ever going to be more important than the people you are communicating with.
We've developed kind of a modern etiquette that actually allows for that. I think it's fine. If everybody agrees that actually we can have a quick look at our phones to make sure that the world is carrying on without us.
It's interesting. Inevitably, I suppose, the comments that we've got this morning, not surprisingly, because people are obviously online in order to be able to message us, are all extolling the virtues, if you like. Even though they're admitting they're spending a lot of time online, they're saying it's necessary for work, possibly for social reasons, that this is a way, it's become a way of communicating. Nothing wrong with that. You just have to think about it in a slightly different way. Do you accept that at all?
I think it's great, actually. We're communicating more with more people. What's wrong with that? I think it's wonderful.
Well, because actually, if you're in a conversation with another person and you have your smartphone and you're tweeting at the same time, it's only you who is communicating with all of those other people.
Fair enough.
It's not the other person as well, and you're excluding them. I think that's Isn't that part of the problem?
Yes.
I am guilty of it as much as
We all are, but at the same time, I think if you're sitting there with maybe a couple of other people and you all take a moment to look, then you're all doing it at the same time. It's almost like we've evolved a new etiquette to do it.
No, yeah, people do it a lot, but it's never going to make it acceptable because we are doing it so often, or people are doing it so often. And yes, they are vital parts of our lives and modern tools of communication. We are forgetting actual social skills, and so many people, old or young, actually don't know how to hold a face-to-face conversation.
When you have a party,
Canadians grabbing dinner at McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and other fast food joints are eating substantially higher levels of salt compared to the same fat-laden foods in other countries, new global research suggests. An international team of scientists from as far as Australia, New Zealand, France, the United Kingdom, and the United States collaborated with Canada in a global study analyzing the salt content of more than 2,100 fast food items on the menus of 6 major companies. The items included breakfast, burgers, chicken products, pizza, sandwiches, French fries, and even salads. While fast food isn't the most nutritious choice, the researchers say the meals in Canada and the United States contained much higher levels of sodium compared to the same food in the UK and France. Chicken nuggets, for example, contain 2.5 times the amount of sodium, 600 milligrams per 100 gram servings, compared to only 240 milligrams per 100 gram servings in the UK. Salads in fast food joints in Canada by far provided the highest salt content. What we really found was that several of the fast food items in Canada have the highest, if not closest to the highest, or very close to the highest amount of salt in their foods, according to Dr. Norman Campbell. Campbell says Canadians should call on Ottawa to regulate salt. In other countries, including the UK, Finland, and Japan, salt reduction efforts have forced companies to label ingredients in food. Health is not a food company responsibility. It's one of the mandates we gave our federal government. Our federal government has advocated this responsibility for health and the safety of the food source back to the food industry, and that's clearly inappropriate and is not going to work, Campbell said. The report insists that widespread reformulation of products to decrease salt can be introduced over several years. Health Canada has chaired the Sodium Working Group, which has released guidelines on how much salt Canadians should be consuming, but its full recommendations haven't been implemented.